All right, so get this. We're diving deep into human nature today, and thanks to a story about Elon Musk going undercover.
Undercover, really?
Yeah, but not to test a new Tesla or anything like that. This time, he was testing the limits of human kindness, or, lack thereof.
Sounds intriguing.
It all went down at a really swanky restaurant in Santa Fe, but trust me, it goes way beyond just celebrity gossip.
Okay, I'm hooked. What's the story?
So what's really fascinating is that Musk could have easily commissioned like a huge study,
Right.
analyze data, the typical billionaire approach, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But he chose to put himself out there, vulnerable, disguised as someone who's really down on their luck.
That's interesting.
He kind of speaks to like this desire to understand human behavior on a raw, visceral level.
I could see that.
So picture this: Elon Musk ditches the billionaire threads,
Okay.
for like a secondhand clothes, worn out shoes,
Wow.
even sporting a messy wig. He basically transforms himself into someone you wouldn't look twice at on the street.
Quite the transformation.
And he walks into the Copper Elm, this upscale exclusive establishment known for its,
Discerning clientele.
Exactly.
I see where this is going.
The setting itself is almost like a character in this story, don't you think?
Absolutely. The Copper Elm, with its elegance and air of exclusivity, it becomes a microcosm of like societal perceptions and biases.
Yeah, and Musk, by like stripping away his usual markers of wealth and status, he becomes almost invisible.
Invisible to the very people who would usually be clamoring to be near him.
Right, and he's suddenly subject to the same judgments that people make based solely on appearances.
It's a powerful statement.
And the reactions he gets are just brutal.
I can imagine.
Patrons giving him the side-eye, staff whispering about scaring off the regulars.
Oof.
You can just feel the tension in the air.
Yeah, it's like the moment he walks in, people have already decided who he is and how he deserves to be treated.
Exactly. It's a stark illustration of how deeply ingrained these biases can be.
We talk about first impressions, but in reality, it's more like first assumptions.
Right.
Our brains process these visual cues so quickly. Clothing posture, even facial expressions. We categorize people without even thinking about it.
It's like autopilot for the brain.
It's a survival mechanism, for
Yeah.
sure, rooted in our evolutionary past. But in today's society, it often leads to unfair judgments and misconnections.
Definitely. But here's where it gets interesting. Amidst all this judgment and negativity, there's one person who treats Musk like, well, a human being.
Okay, who is it?
Her name's Sophia, a young server at the restaurant. She not only takes his order, but actually stands up to a rude patron who criticizes her for being kind to him.
Wow, good for her.
Sophia's actions are crucial here because they challenge that prevailing narrative in that moment.
Right, everyone else is reacting based on their preconceived notions.
Exactly. But she sees beyond the disguise.
She's demonstrating empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person.
And it's such a powerful antidote to all the judgment that's basically permeating the restaurant.
It's like a breath of fresh air in that stuffy, judgmental atmosphere.
Yeah. And it's not just a one-off act of politeness.
Oh.
Sophia consistently treats Musk with kindness throughout his meal, checking on him, making sure he's comfortable. Meanwhile, other servers are practically rolling their eyes, muttering under their breath.
The contrast is stark.
Oh, absolutely. And you can bet Musk is taking notes on all of it. He's witnessing firsthand the spectrum of human behavior, from casual indifference to outright hostility to genuine, heartfelt kindness.
This is where the experiment becomes more than just an anecdote. It becomes this fascinating study in human psychology.
Yeah. By observing both the negative and positive responses, Musk is gathering real-time data on how we perceive and treat others.
It's like a social experiment in action.
And while the negative reactions are disheartening, Sophia's behavior offers a glimmer of hope.
Definitely. It suggests that even in a world that often feels divided, and judgmental empathy and kindness can still prevail.
And this is just the beginning of the story. Imagine what happens when Musk finally reveals his true identity.
I bet that caused quite a stir.
Oh, you have no idea. We'll dive into that in a moment, but first,
Okay.
let's pause and think about this for a second. Have you ever caught yourself making a snap judgment about someone based solely on their appearance?
I'm sure we all have at some point.
Or maybe you've experienced the sting of being judged yourself. This story, even at this early stage, forces us to confront those uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the society we live in.
It's a powerful reminder that we all have biases, and that those biases can have real-world consequences.
Exactly.
Musk's reveal wasn't just like a dramatic ending to the story, it was a calculated move. It was to expose those biases he had been seeing.
Yeah, like he was setting everyone up.
Exactly.
Okay, so picture this. He finishes his simple meal, gets up, walks right to the center of the restaurant. All eyes are on him. You can practically feel the judgment like radiating from some people. The manager's probably getting ready to escort him out.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then boom, the wig comes off.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a power move. In that instant, the whole dynamic shifts.
It's no longer about this down-on-his-luck guy trying to get a meal.
Right. Suddenly, it's Elon Musk, one of the most recognizable figures in the world, holding up a mirror to everyone in that room.
The shock, the whispers,
Yeah.
the sudden realization that they'd been so wrong. I can only imagine the emotions.
I bet it was like a record scratch moment.
Totally.
And he doesn't shy away from calling out the behavior he experienced. The dismissive glances, the whispers behind his back,
Ouch.
the clear sense that he didn't belong in that space. And remember, this is all happening in a very public setting.
Right, so the stakes are even higher.
Not just for those patrons, but for the Copper Elm itself.
Exactly. It would have been easy for Musk to just walk out, leave everyone to stew in their embarrassment.
Yeah, right.
But he does something much more profound.
What's that?
He singles out Sophia, the server, who treated him with kindness, and publicly praises her actions.
Oh, wow.
It's a powerful moment of recognition, not just for Sophia, but for the idea that empathy can exist, even in the face of such widespread judgment.
It's like he's saying, look, there's still hope for humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
And then comes the grand gesture.
The grand gesture.
A $50,000 check for Sophia to attend culinary school, along with a note emphasizing the impact of her kindness.
$50,000. That's incredible.
It's amazing.
Think about what that gesture represents. It's not just a financial reward. It's an investment in someone who embodies the values Musk was seeking to highlight.
Right. He's putting his money where his mouth is.
Exactly. He's sending a message not just to Sophia, but to the world, that kindness matters, that it has real value, and that it deserves to be recognized and rewarded.
Yeah, and it's a pretty bold statement coming from someone who could have easily brushed off the whole experience.
I agree.
But the impact of this story goes way beyond that restaurant, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It quickly goes viral, sparking discussions about empathy, judgment, how we treat each other in a world that's obsessed with appearances.
Yeah, suddenly everyone has an opinion on the experiment, on Sophia's actions, on whether Musk was right or wrong to do what he did.
It's like he tapped into a collective nerve.
That's what makes this story so fascinating. It taps into something fundamental about human nature. Our need to belong, our desire to be seen and valued, and the complex ways in which we judge and categorize each other.
Yeah, it's like holding up a mirror to society.
Exactly.
And it raises questions about social dynamics, the power of wealth and status, the role of empathy in shaping our interactions.
There's a lot to unpack.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's important to unpack it. And it's not just a fleeting moment of internet fame.
Right.
Sophia, in her interviews, consistently emphasizes the importance of treating everyone with dignity, regardless of their circumstances.
She's using her platform to spread a positive message.
Yeah, the Copper Elm implements sensitivity training for its staff.
Good for them.
And even the manager who is ready to show Musk the door expresses remorse and a desire to learn from the experience. It's like this single event triggered a ripple effect, prompting real change on both individual and institutional levels.
And that's what's so compelling about this deep dive. We're not just rehashing a celebrity stunt. We're exploring the deeper implications of what it reveals about ourselves.
Right. It's about so much more than just Elon Musk.
It's a reminder that our actions, no matter how small, can have a profound impact on others. And it begs the question, what if we all started viewing kindness as a currency, as Musk suggests in his note to Sophia?
A currency that never loses its value. That's a powerful concept. Makes you think, what kind of world could we create if we actually treated kindness as a currency?
It's a really fascinating thought, isn't it? Like to actually shift our priorities from material wealth to, human connection.
Yeah, imagine a society where a genuine smile or a helping hand or just listening to someone. Imagine if those things were valued as much as money or possessions.
It sounds a little utopian maybe,
Yeah.
but think about it.
Yeah.
We all crave connection, those moments where someone shows genuine kindness,
Yeah.
those acts that make you feel seen and appreciated. And then on the other hand, think about how much it hurts when you're judged or dismissed or treated like you're invisible.
It's the worst.
This whole story, with all its ups and downs, really highlights how complicated human nature is.
It does. It's like we're capable of incredible kindness, but also capable of such harsh judgment.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just individual experiences, right?
Mhm.
This idea of kindness as currency, it could change everything.
What do you mean?
Think about how we structure our communities, our workplaces, even our political systems.
Okay, yeah.
What if instead of always focusing on economic growth, we started prioritizing things like empathy and compassion?
Hmm,
What if we focused on creating a world where everyone feels like they belong?
that would be incredible.
It's definitely a radical shift in thinking, but it feels so necessary right now.
I agree. Like the world often feels so divided and selfish.
Yeah, but this story shows us that even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
It's like that saying, be kind for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle.
Exactly. You never know what someone else is going through.
And a little bit of kindness could be the thing that turns their whole day around.
It's a good reminder for all of us.
It is. We have the power to make a difference in other people's lives, not through money or status, but just by being kind.
Musk's experiment might have been unconventional, but it really brought that truth to light.
It did. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this question. How can you spend the currency of kindness in your own life?
Yeah, what are some small things you can do to brighten someone's day?
Maybe it's reaching out to someone who's lonely or volunteering your time to a cause you care about.
Or maybe it's just offering a genuine compliment to someone who needs to hear it.
The possibilities are endless and the impact is immeasurable.
Remember, kindness is a currency that never loses its value.
In fact, the more we spend it, the richer we all become.
That's a great way to put it.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But we hope this conversation has inspired you to think about the power of kindness in your own life.
And to remember that even small acts can make a big difference.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.